Texas Southern against that team up north. I can't say it. The thing that when I first ever came to Texas Southern University, they always told me the one thing we don't lose is to the team up north, and that's the Prairie View A&M Panthers. I got a lot of great friends that went to school there, and it's a rival. For 60 minutes, we kind of go at it and kind of hate each other for them 60 minutes. But after those 60 minutes, hey, look, we going back. We all HBCU. I'm willing to take the stroll with PV. We waiting on Coach Bubba McDowell now. I'm pretty sure he's coming out of a meeting to come on to the show. But I got to get on him. I'll just take a look around. When I held a Labor Day Classic party at my house, invited some of my friends, even over there. I lay all my TSU stuff out, and wow, they even brought me we was ready to pop it open. Oh, let me get it right. We was ready to pop this open because we were 8 games down, and I thought this would be the game, being that Prairie View having a new coach in the Bubba McDowell and Coach McKinney having those Tigers ready, coming into his 4th year. But hey, when I coached, I lost to Prairie View 3 times. Coach Frazier done beat me 3 times. His program was very established when I took over, and he ended up beating me. I thought that 3rd time was our game, and he was able to have his kids ready more than mine. But I said all that to say to Coach McKinney and the Tigers and the Tiger fans. Of course, I went on the 2nd year when they beat us, finishing 2nd in the conference. And then, of course, the 3rd year we went on and went to the championship. So one game is just one game, So hopefully them Tigers can lick their wounds and get ready to go back. They got a tough one next week against North Texas State. Then Southern from there, up here in my home where I live at, up in the Dallas area. I definitely will be there. And then we'll go on to play Southern University. Then we're going to play UT San Antonio. And then after that, we got my friends again, Alabama State. Of course, if you follow my career, I coached at Alabama State, and there I was part of 2 Eastern Division championships and went on to the game. So we're going to sit and wait for Bubba to come on. In the meantime, this is the last week. We got the NFL football season starting off. And a lot of people always ask me, Cole, what's your favorite protein? And I always got to tell them I'm a coach, and I kind of evaluate the game. I just don't watch the game. I kind of evaluate the game. So I would say I like players, love Tom Brady. I mean, who don't? I love him for his mastery of being in the quarterback. Of course, if I did have to pick a team, it would be the Cincinnati Bengals, where I was from. So, I'm getting kind of weird because I got all my TSU on, and we didn't take care of business. But hey, I'm a Tiger for life. But we had a lot of good college football going on, and a lot of coaches. For instance, like Bubba, when he comes on, was 1st year coaching, or first time coaching that team. LSU, they lost a big game, and everybody thought they had it in the bag. And Florida State's coach, who's on the hot seat, get the block at the end. Great football game. Alabama State, we talked about Eddie Robinson Jr., 1st year coaching, never coached on the college level, never been a coordinator, of course. He only coached softball, but of course he played the game. He played in the pros. He's played football all his life. Had his team ready. They were ready to go. And they went down to Atlanta. I had the pleasure of going to that game and watching a good football game between Alabama State and Howard. And he had his people ready. They were ready to go. And not only did he win that game, he won this past week against Miles College. My understanding that his starting quarterback got hurt, and Miles played him tough. They ended up winning 21-13. It sounded like a close game, but Alabama State was up 21-0. Next tough game was out there was Arkansas Pine Bluff with Doc, the head coach up there. Woo! He won a nail biter. Coach Brown, Vernon Brown, I had on my show, coached at Grambling. Probably could have been the head coach at Grambling this past year. He got them Lane College Dragons rolling. They actually ended up losing the game, and you got to understand Lane is a perennial losing program with Vernon took over. They Division II program. So whenever, the Division II play the Division 1A, and you play them that tough, you call that a moral victory. It's good for the program. Of course, you don't want to lose, but when you lose one that close, you got to take your hat off to Coach Brown and his staff and to that football team up there at Lane. There's some other coaches that, need to turn it up. Edward Waters. I end up talking to Toriano, coach at Edward Waters, and they're sitting at 0-2. As a matter of fact, Southern beat Florida Memorial, who actually has beat Edward Waters. And as you know, Southern put 86 points. 86 points. Coach Dooley opened up with an opener. I get it. You want a team that you can kind of warm up on. And he did more than warming up on them. He put 86 points on them. So we're looking for great. Of course, the next guy needs no introductory. They showed up, showed out. His son went 17 for 17 and 3 TDs before he threw incomplete. And that's Jackson State. They were ready to play. We knew, if you're a SWAC follower, that Jackson State and Florida A&M are the 2 top teams out of the 12. And Jackson State beat them pretty good, 59-7. I tell you what, if those are the 2 best teams, and Jackson State beat Florida A&M that bad, wow, look out, conference. There's a team called the Tigers, and it's not TSU Tigers. It's the Jackson State Tigers, led by Coach Deion Sanders and his staff, that they serious and they for real. The thing about Florida A&M, I'm gonna tip their hat on all the stuff they've been through, with the compliance issues. And that brings me up a story. This ain't the first time that happened. This ain't the first school that it's happening to. And I hate to say in HBCU, it happens all the time. Back in 1996, L.C. Cole at Tennessee State, I'm an assistant head coach, and we playing Florida A&M, opening up the season. And actually, it was so bad that they were actually pulling guys off the field, taking their helmets, telling some of the players who came over to the game to go put your stuff on. And, it was a cluster. So was that a surprise to me? No. We got to do better. And if you know better, you'll do better. And we should know better by now, because it happens all the time. And I don't know what goes wrong, or the message, or the communication, or the time. we at the HBCU, I'm talking with the presidents, not necessarily the athletic directors, that we got to put funds into the athletic department. Our head football coach's office should look like the president's office. Our athletic directors should know and to already put a plan in to take care of them things. You can pull up any HBCU school in the last 20 years. There's been one that has violated NCAA rules. And here's the kicker, and I got to stand up, I'm a coach. The first thing they blame it on, the administration blame it on, is the coach. And let me be the first to tell you that all the coach do in the scholarship realm is offer the kid the scholarship. Now, once he offers the kid scholarship, he ought to be able to retrieve the transcripts, okay? Get the information from the kid, pass him to the compliance officer. The compliance officer get with his people, look at the transcript, and apply it to the major that he's coming into. And most freshmen don't even have to declare major because they're not in a school, okay? It's the transfers. Everybody is big on the portal, the transfer portal, okay? And what happens, well, let me go back and finish up. Then once compliance officer sees it and matches it, you wait on that final transcript from the kid, and these are high school kids. And he has to make a minimum score of a 68, or 720 or 800, whatever he needs to do to make his score to be eligible. So that's coming straight out of high school. What happens to these transfer guys is when they come in, they juniors, seniors, sophomores, wherever school they've been to, they got to get a transcript. So if they've been to junior college, they got to get an official transcript. They've been to 2-4 years, they got to get official transcripts from those 4 years. And they bring it in, and the coach them get the information, take it to the compliance officer, him and his compliance team. And here's the problem. Sometimes it's just one compliance officer. I know at Texas Southern when I was there was one compliance officer for 375 players. And of course, my second and third year, we ended up hiring, AD, and we hired some more compliance people. But at that time, it was too late. The damage was done at Texas Southern from 96 to the time I was there. But that's a whole nother story. So once a kid get his transcripts in, you try to find a major, whatever major he was at school. Usually, if he was a good student, those grades could be able to transfer. Sometimes D's don't transfer. Some schools and departments take D's, some schools don't. So as a coach, if a kid has a D, you got to go to that department head, over that university, the dean of that university, and ask them, do you take D's? Or would you take this one D? And he might say yes, he might say no. If you say yes, fine, they put it on the transcript, at least the kid get the hours. So what happens if the kid is just taking courses, and this is the difference, and this is the difference between HBCU schools and PWI schools. See, PWI schools understand that we're gonna want to have a program here. And to have a program here, every kid don't come to college to graduate. Some come to play football. Look at that one. I went to college to play football and figured out while I'm here, let me go get my degree because that's what I was told. But my main focus was to come in to play. So they get the transcripts, they apply them to a major. So PWIs have majors that will take anything. Park recreation, undisciplinary studies. So when that kid's transcript come in, you try to fit it into a major. Now, if it doesn't fit in the major, he's eligible the first year because you got a one-time transfer rule. And I know now that rule has changed a lot. You can go up, down, over, left, but you're eligible from the school you came from. Now, that next year, if they don't take all your grades, you got to make them up. So that kid, the academic advisor, and the compliance have to make sure that they're setting that kid up for success. Now it's up to that kid and it's up to that coach to make sure that that kid is going to class. He got a copy of his schedule, making sure he's sitting up in the front 3 rows with his feet flat on the ground and his back to the back, and making sure that he does what he's supposed to. Now, coming out that summer, you should know already right then and there what that kid should know, what that kid needs to be eligible. If you don't, then that kid will be in trouble. Now, here's the kicker. Who do you blame it on? That's the thing. Who do you blame it on? And at the end of the day, it always say they blame it on the coach. They blame it on the coach. You know what I mean? And that's not the good part of it. Not the coach's fault. Only time it's the coach's fault is when he's not doing class check and doing what he's supposed to. That's the problem. So Florida A&M, hey, we sorry, but the ball will be kicked off in August. I used to tell my kids all the time, you're gonna go to class, because my philosophy is this: you can help me win SWAC championships, and help me get raises, but what about you? My job is to care about the person underneath the helmet, not the helmet. I don't care about the helmet. Do I want to win championships? Yes. I've been a winner all my life. So winning one more ain't a big deal for me. What's a big deal for me is that I have developed these young men, both academically, socially, athletically, and that's the thing that gets me. And when I get calls from my former players from all over the country, I could be down a day and I get a phone call, and the guy just, one of my former players would just be like, "Coach, man, you just don't know how much you touch me and touch my life." And, that's what it's all about. So I just want to catch up. We're going to go to a commercial break. What's up, AJ?
Coach Cole, and his HBCU Stroll. What's going on, man?
Hey, man, look, it's a great time. People always ask when they say, "How you doing?" Well, I got my TSU on. Look, I have my ball out. Go. I invited some friends over. I have my
Put all that up, man.
Look, go. I got some Don P. It still ain't open.
But Coach, you can't pop the tops if you don't win the game.
Look, I went and got my old, I was trying to show out and really not to say anything bad about, but I just knew, we were going to be ready for this with Coach. You know what I mean? And, look, hey, man, sometimes you get the bear, sometimes the bear gets you. My hat go out to Coach McKinney and his staff. They were looking good. I like that all white, baby. I like that white. But
they didn't have enough white on the numbers on the scoreboard to get the win. And I picked it. I picked Prairie View to beat TSU in that game. But, Coach, I got to ask you a question based on what you were just talking about and the concern for the kids. Now, we're going to cross conferences. We're going to cross from HBCU to PWI for a second. In the LSU Florida State game, there was a young man that had 2 muff punts. The last one, they felt like cost him the game. This young man had to scrub his social media sites and delete them because he was getting death threats from fans, alumni, you name it, from LSU. This is, in my opinion, another case why some of these top flight athletes need to consider going to an HBCU as opposed to going to a place where they're only appreciated when they do well and not when they just are kids who just had a tough game.
Well, it's tough on that kid, and the fans should understand that he understands that he muffed 2 punts, and evidently he's a great punter because he's at one of the top universities in the country. So yeah, it's the game don't have no place for that. This paying the high college players, is playing a role in that. You'll start hearing stuff like that, but you don't get that at HBCU schools. Most of the time, the fans are in it to enjoy the moment, and then when the moment is over, we know that it's about these kids. I mean, it's about supporting them. It's about we were there at that age. We know what the kid is going to. I mean, it's real. It's authentic in the HBCU realm, and we just get a bad rap, and it's been a long time coming. Again, the George Floyd deal kind of opened up some eyes. The prime time coming in town opened up some eyes. HBCU Gold TV opened up some eyes. Hopefully our show is opening up some eyes that we got some great people. We got some great coaches. We got great athletic directors. We got great presidents, and we got great fans.
Yeah.
And we get a miss of all that. Well, we want to bring you up to our level or down to that level. It's room at the top. It's room for everyone. Our champion is our champion.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Their champion, if we want to say their and I, is a champion.
Yeah.
It's all college football at the end of the day. And it's important now. It's important because I remember when every time when Tiger Woods would play in a golf tournament and he win, they say all the black folks come to work on Monday. So sports is a $1 billion industry. It's a part of everyone. I ain't gonna say everyone's life, but it's a part of life that sometimes it goes too far. Right. It goes too far.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to ask. I mean, let's just focus on this kid for a second. In all your years as an HBCU coach, player, assistant coach, you name it, had you ever seen anything like that? And I know you've seen guys muff punts. I know you've seen them fumble. I know you've seen it look like, that play might have cost them the game. But in all your years, have you seen anything like that? And if you have, what did you say or what would you say to a kid like that?
Well, I got 2 stories. I was at Southern University. We playing Nickel State. We on the 1-yard line. We called timeout. We said, okay, we're gonna buff the center. I mean, we just gonna put a little pressure on him and go. Well, not only did we do that, the ball went through the quarterback's leg, and Nickel State ended up retrieving the ball, and we lose the football game. And we didn't get on the player, because at the end of the day, we made that call, and we didn't have to. He felt bad himself. Alabama State, we playing Grambling. We going in to win the football game. We give it to our running back. Hey, make sure ball security. Well, he goes and twists and turns and try to get 2 or 3 more yards. He fumbled at the 2. If not, we win a SWAC champion.
Mm-hmm.
The kid already was distraught, because, I mean, his intention wasn't to muff a punt. His intention wasn't to fumble the ball. His intention was he was just trying to win and do what he has to do. And so you got to put your arms around those kids. You can't, nobody plays this game to lose the game, and that's the things that you have to do. And hopefully those fans or somebody send some things out to make sure that this young man is okay.
Yeah, I would be real curious to see how new head coach Brian Kelly is handling that situation, because if the coaching staff is not there to protect the kid, if the administration is not there to protect the kid, then where can we expect our young Black players to get protection when they're at these PWIs and suffering the wrath and the vitriol from fans that really need to be called out and need to be arrested for those kind of things?
Oh yeah, you're right about that. I'm sure with all the employment at LSU around that football program that they got things in place that will make sure that that kid is taken care of. If it ain't nothing but having security walking back and forth to his classes until this thing go away. It definitely when two plays don't win or lose a football game.
That part we haven't even touched on that. You're a head coach, and say that again for the people in the back that too caught up on their fantasy leagues and they bets and that kind of stuff. 2 plays does not cost you a football game.
No, and LSU, let's face it, Florida State ain't no powerhouse no more. Hello, and LSU, you just won a national championship. What 3-4 years ago, maybe? So your program should be way ahead of Florida State. It shouldn't even been close. But you guys, Florida State had you beat the whole game. You know, I'm just surprised at the end. Florida State let you go 99 yards in a minute 20.
Right.
And did not send no heat, not one heat blitz, if you don't know what that was. I just didn't get that.
Yeah.
But hey, you know, both of those schools need to work. You know, they need to get together and make sure that the things took place in that game. They need to work on definitely.
Yeah. Well, I just hope other, top flight athletes are looking at this whole situation. You can get that kind of treatment at an LSU, or you can get the kind of love, respect, and play the same kind of quality football at an HBCU. So I feel like the landscape is changing. If folks don't know by now that playing at an HBCU is not a step down, you're not playing against lesser competition. You're still going to be seen on the big screen and things like that. I mean, I don't know what else we can tell people if they still trying to figure that part out.
No, without a doubt, HBCU football is great and just like any other league and conference, and it's going to be some tough games.
Yeah.
With all this, I'm going to call it free agency. It's
Coach,
about to change the whole.
I'm not going to let you do it. Leave that transfer portal alone. That ain't free agency, man.
Hey, it's about to turn this whole thing around. You're going to have schools starting to pop up that you be like, man, where'd that school come from?
Right.
And the biggest thing is that these kids want to go play.
Yeah.
They want to go and get on the field right now.
Yeah.
And they got the right to. And, I'm going to buy it too. If a coach can leave and jump around, why can't I?
Okay, now, Coach, it took you a minute to come to that because, when we was back on the radio station, you didn't like none of that at all. It's like, if you coach a kid too hard, he going to jump in the portal and be out. But you finally said, say that again, because I don't believe I heard what I heard.
Well, let me make clear. For you disciplined coaches like me, you better keep the door open and you better keep a B list. Because some of these kids ain't gonna go for the hard coaching, and
but
if a coach can move,
okay,
a player can jump as well.
Man,
I don't like it, but hey, that's how it is. Because at the end of the day, it's about graduating from school and getting your college degree.
Absolutely,
that's what it's about.
Absolutely,
that's what it's about.
Absolutely.
You can win 10 national championships, but if you don't walk out with a piece of paper in your hand,
But Coach, I'm gonna put you on the spot. There's a saying out there in relationships that one man's trash is another man's treasure. Okay. Have you ever missed out on a kid where you thought, and then that kid went somewhere else and was like, wow?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, that's watching and seeing talent is objective.
Yeah.
Meaning, I might see a kid and think he can play, and then another coach might see a kid and not. And that's where experience comes in, of watching kids. You got to look at him, how long his arms is. Does he have a potential to grow? If he got small shoulders, if he got knocked knees, and I'm saying that you can't play it looking like that, but there's different positions that you got to be able to look like and be like to be prepared,
Okay.
like offensive lineman.
Okay.
So I might look at some of those things, and then my experience of watching a kid and seeing a kid how he built, whether he was a great kid or not, I carry that with me.
Yeah.
So when I'm looking for players, I'm looking for a high school kid, let's say 200 pounds, skinny shoulders, you know what I'm saying? Skinny hips, you thinking to your mind. And he played offensive line. Well, dang, can I be able to bring him in? And will he be able to carry the weight? And then you got to know something about his family background.
Yeah.
So when you use that statement, use it lightly about one man's treasure, one man's trash is another man's treasure, because everybody that they choose up on a Division 1A level, it ain't even sometimes about the physical part. Sometimes it's the mental.
Understood.
And everybody be like, oh man, they got such a player. They got such a player. They got such a player. But now he's got to come in there, fit in. Some of those kids come in and thinking that the university needs them. I'm the big time. I'm going to come to practice how I want. I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to be over in this corner. Then now that's a problem through the whole program.
Yeah.
Then now coaches are seduced by talent.
But coach, I understand that because it's a win now mentality. Back when some people used to get 4 or 5 years to turn the program around. Now you might get 1, 2, or 3. 3 is like the golden number now. So I understand you got to believe what you see and see what you see and go with what you feel now, because you might not get another chance next season.
Without a doubt. I mean, we live in a microwave society, and I see
Coach, your headsets are popping on me. Do me a favor, take your earbuds out and turn your volume down just a little bit so I can hear you.
Let me see. Now.
No, it's still crackling. You can go ahead and take them all the way off. We'll be okay for right now. Uh-huh. I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll come back with Johnny Cole's HBCU Stroll right after this on the lunch break on Jones Media and Entertainment. We're on Roku TV, courtesy of BS3.
This is a BS3 network presentation.
I want to show that attainability. I want to show the accessibility of this kind of lifestyle.
From social media to having conversations with friends and family, you always have to put on face and say face.
What brings a smile to my face is the one person that totally believes in me, and that's my beautiful wife, Jody.
I just had to stop because I didn't value myself. I didn't love myself. And it's like, I have to learn to love myself.
Changing the world one conversation at a time. This is Revelations. Discouragement, sorrow, distance. Your arguments cause damage to your family. The hurt leads to divorce. You feel like there is nowhere else to turn. But there is hope for you. That's where we come into play. There is an overcomer that lives inside of you. One ready to take on the world as you leap for joy, living in victory. You'll grow to love yourself and others. There's life after divorce, and you can claim it today. Get Over Divorce, where your new story begins here every Thursday on YouTube and Spreaker.
All right. Hey, Coach Cole, I'm going to drop off. Arlena Richardson has put some what really should be behind the scenes stuff on our thread. Let me try and get your guest, Bubba McDowell, on the show. And yeah, I'll have a talk with Arlena while you go ahead and do the rest of the show. Go ahead, Coach.
Yeah, I'm ready. Is he in?
No, he is not. I'm working on it now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're back. You know, we had to pay some bills, and we're having problems getting Bubba McDowell in. But I was just talking to you guys about the compliance issues in HBCU. But we gotta move on from that. We got a big weekend coming this weekend with the SWAC play this week. So let me get to the SWAC play and go from there to see who's gonna do what this week. So we here we go right here. I think all right. We're going to have in week 2, we got Mississippi Valley State playing Austin Peay. Austin Peay is 1-1. Of course, Mississippi Valley State is 0-1. Good warm-up game. South Carolina State and Bethune. Both of them got beat pretty bad last week. They'll be facing each other to be on ESPN2. Alabama State go out to the sunny city of California to play the UCLA big-time money game. FAMU steps to Albany State. SIAC, been winning the SIAC for the last couple of years. It's not going to be a walkover, but FAMU's got to get their stuff together. Alcorn State go down Highway 10 to play Tulane in New Orleans. The Grambling State Tigers play a rival game. Both teams are in Louisiana, Northwestern State. Alabama A&M, 0-1. Got hampered a little bit last week, but as well as you could think, losing Akia, the quarterback who's there for 3 straight years, did a great job at Alabama A&M. Now they started fresh with the offense. They play state rival Troy State. Jackson State, Tennessee State. Been in that game, played in that game, the Southern Heritage Classic. I wish both of those schools and Fred Jones, the owner of the game, I wish they can get together. I just want to talk about that for a minute. That game been going on for years and years. And sometimes I understand about the money part. But, it's about tradition. It's about family sometimes. Let's come to the table and let's work out the money part and let's keep that game going. That game is good for the state of Memphis. The city of Memphis, the state of Tennessee. It's one of the big classics of HBCU football. Come on, Fred. Come on, Prime Time. Come on, Eddie George. Let's get together, man, and let's keep that game going. Hey, Coach, you back?
I got Coach Bubba McDowell on the phone line, so I'm going to get out of the way. He can hear you, and you can hear him. Y'all go ahead and go. Turn your volume down a little bit on your side, though. All right, you got your buddy on the phone right now.
What about that? All right. Bubba McDowell. I can't hear him, Coach. This guy. Yeah. Hello? Is Bubba there?
He's here. Go ahead, Coach McDowell. Say it again. He can hear you.
He can hear me now?
Coach, hush. Let Bubba McDowell speak.
Oh.
All right, go ahead, Coach McDowell.
I'm here, JC. What's going on, buddy?
Coach, what's happening, man? Look, man, you ruining my day. You ruined my day on Saturday. I got all my stuff all around. I had my party last night, man, and you don't came in there and you don't put it on my Tigers. How you feeling this morning?
I'm feeling pretty good, my man. I'm sorry I had to put it on your Tigers, man, but you know how it is, man. It's the first game of the season, man. You know, something had to happen, big dog.
Yeah. You have to feel great today, opening up the season. You know, I'm gonna say it, Bubba. You know, on my show, man, we here to honor you and make sure that folks know we got great coaches. But I gotta, for all the naysayers to say, man, Bubba never been an offensive coordinator. He never been a defensive coordinator. Man, they don't gave him that job. Boy, you got to be feeling good to get that monkey off in that first one.
Yeah, I know it's good to, you know, as a transitioning to the job, man. Yeah, it was really good because I know a lot of naysayers and that had this opportunity rather than being, you know what? As I've always said, I always tell my kids, you know, you only control what you control, and you do what you do best, and you don't let God handle the rest. So you put me in this position for a reason, and I believe that again, is to teach and make a young man, but to win and that's what we're gonna do.
Okay, well, we're gonna get back and talk about the game a little later, man. This show is about you, man. My thing, you know, I'm HBCU man. I'm a black man, and I'm here to make sure that people know about our coaching staff and our athletics in the HBCU Stroll. Look, I met you a long time ago, and you really didn't want to get into coaching. And one of the reasons why is you wanted to be around to raise your boys. Man, how your boys, man? Can we bring this up to how they doing?
Yeah, my boy's doing well. Trey is there doing some real estate appraisal stuff on the area here in Houston. And Miles just graduated for the young one, Stephen F. Austin, with a business degree, and they're doing really well.
Wow, good, man. We need great fathers like yourself. You know, we always get a bad rap, you know, but we got some great fathers, black men that take care of their kids. Hey, you open up, you know, with a great game. You know, let's go back, man. What type of athlete? You come from Merritt High School, all right? You get a scholarship to UAM. At that time, UAM was okay. Were you a 4- or 5-star athlete?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what 4- or 5-star athletes are back in those days. They were just, you know, those times they were just athletes that come in and help build their program. You know, at that particular time, I was on a Howard Snellenberger who recruited me coming out of Merritt Island High. Me and Eric Hampton, we were always good that where we're gonna go as a package deal, whether we wherever we was gonna go. Eric, you know, was a big 6'3", could run type guy, running back. You know, Miami loved him. Florida State loved him. Michigan loved him. Ohio State loved him. So we thought, you know, we go as a package, man. And that's what we did. We came down between Florida and University of Miami. Howard Snellenberger came, sat on the couch, you know, talked to both of us and the parents, you know, and Miami's where we were going to go.
Okay. Now you was under Sterling. How many years were you under Jimmy Johnson?
I was under Jimmy Johnson the very first year when we got there. We were recruited by Howard, but when Howard left to go to the USFL at that time, when they came into the league, Jimmy Johnson came in and took over. So we was on the from as a very short freshman in '82.
Yeah. So, you know, some of your coaching background got to come from Jimmy Johnson. You were there from the beginning, and you seen how he kind of built a powerhouse. Does some of that play a role in some of your style now?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And man, it's no nonsense. Psychology major. One thing get with Jimmy is truth. Who you are. You can be that top dude, or you can be that dude at the bottom. He's gonna let you know that you get out of line. And that was one thing that we learned earlier about Jimmy. We got to practice one day, and we was halfway through practice, and man, it wasn't going well. And it was probably about 100, 105 out there, 104 out there at the time. And Jimmy brought us together and said, hey, you know what? A lot of you guys think you guys are on 4-year ride, 5-year ride, But as long as I'm here, your scholarship is 1 year. And that, shoot, it was a lot of kids, players, really found out, what Jimmy Johnson was all about, because I tell guys all the time, this mind the world back in those days. I mean, man, there was some dudes that, that wasn't doing the right way that Jimmy ended up getting rid of. I promise you that could have easily been on the next level playing professional football. We was already that. During those days as well. But again, we lost a lot of dudes, that could easily be on that next level of professional level playing football.
Wow. Well, I tell you, I got a short time with you, so I'm trying to put a 10-pound in a 5-pound bag. But I'm glad you was able to come on, and I know you got to start getting ready for your season. Let's move on to the pros. You got drafted in the 3rd round, man. And Bubba, they say, yeah, he's silent, but he's a hard hitter. You like to bring it, huh?
Yeah, man, that was me. I wasn't fast, so I had to do it another way. Coming out of Miami as a corner, and then when I got drafted by the Oilers, they moved me to a safety. I wasn't a fast dude, but I was one of them dudes, cover 2 type situation, up in the face type corner. Once I got my hands on, pretty much done. And, that was my deal. Because I know I couldn't run with you, but if I got my hands on you, slow you down, that was to my advantage.
Yeah.
And I would get some dudes, man. Hayward Jeffries, Curtis Duncan, Ernest Givens. We used to go at Hayward Duncan, even Hayward being 6'3", 6'4", that run long, run. We used to have some battles with them guys. Me, Chris Dishman, Richard Johnson. We used to have some battles with those guys, man. That's why we play so well there with all us.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, I know when you came on to Houston, I know all those guys. Man, you got something in common. Miss Arlena Richardson. I mean, she does a great job of promoting the both of us, and I got to get that in to make sure that she does a great job, and I look forward to working with her. All right, now, man, look, you the head coach of Prairie View. You got a big one coming up this week. What you feel about? How you feel about this game coming up this week? You ain't gonna carry. Hopefully, they don't carry all that victory over and forget that we got a whole season.
No. That's one thing. People say head coach need to be a former OC or former DC. They pay their dues too. I mean, being a head coach is all governing is the right way. It's part of the business. Again, I know, and you being the head guy, you got to be able to the right way, run it your way, and things will go well. So again, with us just keeping these guys grounded, getting ready for Christian, which we know is a really good team. On the top in the Western Athletic Conference and FCS, we got to go and do much better. We came out against TSU, but the things that we did, missing tackles, throwing interceptions, we can't do that going to HBCU because we do that, it's probably going to get out of here real quick. So we got to minimize mistakes going into this game. You know, just we do fight from both sides of the ball, you know, and we're gonna go into this game, plan, you know, being able to not only run as we did the previous games last year, but you know, throw the ball well to even have a chance of winning this game.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I tell you, you know, last year Prairie View beat TSU kind of the same way. Man, it must be something that you guys seen that you can attack. And you ran the ball very well. Was that some of the strategy going into the Labor Day Classic this past week?
Oh, without a doubt, JC. We looked at them throughout the whole week, and we saw the 3 down linemen, you know. And again, we what the weather probably was going to be like, should I say? You know, we already had this game that we were going to run this ball, you know, less throw as possible. I think we made it through maybe 4 or 5 times. At that, you know, one of them went for 2 of them actually went for 6. You know, coming in, we had to, you know, had to keep their balls on the ground, and why not? Because again, we got some big dudes in the front, who pretty much played the whole game, didn't sub a whole lot. Maybe something the guy in the fourth quarter, but our offensive line, man, they played really well, played together. They knew the time what they had to do, and they had to hold just enough. Like the backs, you know, Jaden Stewart, even one with 100+ yards, and Antoine with 1 yards. We like close to almost 40 some yards between 3 guys, man. So they did really well, you know, getting through, and you know, the yards count when it was needed.
Yeah, I seen your quarterback. He got kind of banged up a little bit. Is he gonna be okay? It ain't no season injury, is it?
No, it's not. He didn't get banged up in it. He was just cramping real bad. He cramped up really bad after that long run that he had. And he tried to come back several times, but I had to take him out. I actually had to burn a timeout to get him out of there because he didn't want to come out. So they gave us a chance to put the young in there. Shannon Doom, state champion out of Katy Page. So he did really well. You know, he managed in the game. He's having a great camp. So we were pretty confident putting him in there and letting him, you know, do his thing. You know, Frederick, our OC, did a great job for us managing the clock with the young man in there, you know, stretch.
Yeah. I thought he was the difference in the game. You know, he made some big plays. You know, he made some big decisions on the football field. You know, you guys were winning in that aspect of it. I thought you guys ran the ball well, and the defense bent, but they didn't break. You know, and that's what it's about with all this little dink, 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 dink everybody going to now. So this week, going into this week, how you feel about going into this week? Got a victory behind you. You got old Cole over here. I've been showing everybody, all my people, man. I had a bottle of Don P and the friends over, and we watching swag football. And my bottle still ain't open yet. I guess I got to wait till next year.
Well, hey, man, you know how it is with those two teams getting together, man. You know, you can't count either one of them out because, you know, there's a pride thing that sets in, man. Fortunately, you know, we came in victorious again this week, last week, should I say. But going into this weekend, we got to, again, like I said, we just got to be on our cue. We got to be perfect as much as possible, you know. Again, we're gonna open up probably 50 as game. Not defensively, you know, even though we had like 15 total tackles for us this past weekend, still, you know, was offset for all the missed tackles that we missed, you know. And as I was telling the guys today, you know, we went through a little stretch and a little run routine, you know, it is that to do. We got, you know, there's no way to go throughout the whole season many tackles that we missed, you know. Because if that is the case, you know, just think about this, you know, guys will take advantage of it, you know. we got through it with TSU, who's, the Abilene Christian, they're not gonna be that team. We just we're just fortunate that we got through it with TSU. A lot of tackles, and we can't do that. We have defense and special teams.
Yeah, you off to a great start. You 1-0 in the SWAC on the east side. I tell you, you and Eddie Robinson, we got 4 new coaches in the conference. 4 new coaches, 2 won and 2 didn't do so well. And I'm sorry. Well, not necessarily. I don't call Dooley a new coach. He's been in the conference, head coach. So we had 3 of you and Eddie Robinson Jr. were successful this week, and that just shows how strong our coaching staffs or our coaches are in our conference. And hopefully, I want you to continue this success. I'm sorry about this mix-up. How we didn't get on today. We got to do this again, and down the road.
Oh man, yes sir.
And I'm coming down to the final. What is your final remarks? You got some PV people watching. You got some Texas Southern folks watching. You got some Grambling. You got some folks on the HBCU Stroll. What's your final remarks?
Hey man, just continue like Dion just said. In our SWAC conference meeting, media day, with the head coach. I mean, he said it perfectly at the end of the show. Let's keep HBCU. He was perfect in excellence. Again, we all need each other. We're in a time right now where it's favoring towards us. So let's all just come together, and make this thing work for our HBCU athletes and students as a whole. Because I think if we do that, we're going to continue to get more notoriety across the country with HBCU.
All right, Coach, man. Hey, thank you for coming on. And like I said, we got to do it again. Thanks, Arlene Richardson, for hooking us up. And we got to come to the end of the show. Again, the HBCU Stroll with Johnnie Cole. If you feel yourself at the end of the rope, tie a knot, hold on tight. Ain't nobody bad like you.
My name is James Jeter, and I won $500 on the lunch money for keeping up with the Jonas Bracket Challenge.
It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know. Today is Monday, Labor Day, September 4th, 2023. Number 1, Bill Pinkney, the first black sailor to circumnavigate the globe alone by the arduous southern route, died Thursday in Atlanta. He was 87 years old. His death was announced by his former wife, who said he has sustained a head injury in a fall earlier this week. He lived in Puerto Rico. Mr. Pinkney began sailing in earnest on Lake Michigan when a job took him back to his hometown of Chicago. His first sailboat was a 28-footer he named Assegai for an African spear. Number 2, President Biden and First Lady Dr. Jill Biden traveled to Florida Saturday to view the damage and meet survivors of Hurricane Idalia. Their first look was an aerial tour, followed by a ground tour. Much of the damage inland was a result of a lot of water, but also deadly winds that uprooted trees, pushing them onto homes and brought down power lines. Mr. Biden asked if he would meet with Governor DeSantis. His response was yes. Later, the governor's office responded that he would not meet with Mr. Biden, indicating the president's visit would adversely affect the recovery underway. Number 3, roughly 4 million people are living with hepatitis C. No one diet will work for all the people in this country living with hepatitis C, but some foods are not liver friendly, which is affected by the disease. Raw seafood can leave you open to foodborne illnesses and bacterial infections, which can make hepatitis C worse. Those diagnosed should also ease up on the added salt because it can promote fluid retention. Read more about hepatitis C and your liver in today's newsletter. Number 4, Andrew Mills, a black surfer in Jupiter, Florida, was harassed and subjected to a racially motivated act of vandalism that was a symbolic lynching of his surfboard. As he was out in the water, another surfer from an all-white group rushed into him and flipped his board. Shortly after, someone stole his surfboard and nailed it to a tree. Mills filed a police report, then retrieved his board and stayed at the beach afterward to show that he could not be scared off. A few locals that were there apologized and agreed that it was wrong. Number 5. Angels are spirits created by God to serve his purposes. They are intelligent, emotional, and spiritual beings. The word angel itself means messenger. The good angels worship God and are messengers to his people. Angels also wage spiritual battles against evil forces that walk amongst us every day. Read more about our angels in today's newsletter. Here's your daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. Determination is necessary to do the things you really need to do. Join me today live on YouTube and Facebook at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central with social justice activist Coy Malone and comedian extraordinaire Griff as we discuss today's top headlines and more. Barbara Scotia College and HBCU in Concord, North Carolina needs our help. The What You Need to Know team is asking all supporters, alumni, and friends of Barbara Scotia to help them meet their immediate and pressing needs by donating to help Barbara Scotia rise. Please join the thousands of donors from around the world who are stepping up to save one of the nation's oldest HBCUs. Please visit SybylWilkes.com for more information. And celebrate Black filmmakers rooted in HBCU culture at HBCU First Look. It happens November 10th through the 12th at Howard University. Visit HBCUFirstLook.com for more information. Thank you to our What You Need to Know partners, the American Heart Association and Black Health Matters. To subscribe to my free daily newsletter, please visit SybylWilkes.com. Be informed, be empowered.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.